All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? I want to thank y'all for the love y'all been showing the kid. These views going up through the roof, and we ain't playing around entering the new year. All right, 200,000 is on the way. First time you heard me say something about it, 200K is on the way. Really close. Thank y'all so much for the love. We're going to continue to give away stuff. Huge announcements coming soon. Kodak Black is the topic of conversation for this story. I think this is a really interesting video for a couple reasons. Y'all will see momentarily. But Kodak Black is out doing press to promote his album. He's doing a lot of interviews. I did not expect Kodak to do this many interviews. We obviously understand he had the huge moment with Ebro. He's got the viral moment with the Breakfast Club right now with the I hope so. He got that moment going on the internet. So he's doing a lot of interviews. I did not expect Kodak to do this much press. Now, he ended up doing an interview with DJ Who Kid, I believe, over there with Hollywood Shuffle, and a really good topic of conversation came up. Who Kid asked Kodak, had he ever considered signing with an artist, another artist, a bigger artist than him, or had he considered signing with a label earlier on, and who were some of the people to reach out? Now, there are two different situations that I'm about to break down. The first is with Boosie and the second is with Birdman. So to make things clear, Birdman was trying to sign Kodak Black straight up and down, meaning Birdman is essentially funding Cash Money, and that would be a totally different situation. That would be more or less a situation in which maybe Universal is involved, but it could just be Cash Money signing Kodak straight up and down for a nice number, and that would be that would be Cash Money's artist, right? That would be Kodak would have been signed to Birdman and Cash Money. Boosie, he saw that Kodak's buzz was picking up, and Boosie's on Atlantic Records as well. And the way a lot of this goes, a lot of these labels give artists funding to sign artists, to bring talent to the label, to kind of be a recruiting pitch. And if Boosie would have signed Kodak Black, it would have been through Atlantic. All right, just to make those things clear, just to kind of decipher the two. Kodak would have signed to Atlantic, then Boosie would have had Kodak like join his team, all right, like his rap team, to be kind of connected to a big artist. A lot of people do this throughout the industry. Nobody would be saying Kodak's on Atlantic. They'd be saying Kodak signed to Boosie, but in all actuality, he'd be signed to Atlantic. So there were two different situations. He spoke about how Boosie tried to reach out to him out the gate, and he said this. He said, before I went to go sit down with Atlantic, he said, Lil Boosie called me, and he said, I rock with Lil Boosie. I used to look up to him, but he called me. He was like, I'm listening to your music. And Boosie was like, he wanted to sit down with Kodak and try to sign him. And Kodak was like, Boosie offered him 10 bands or something. And Kodak respectfully declined. He was like, I had already had that money off in the streets. All right. So he was like, look, $10,000 for a talent like Kodak. Now, this is around like the skirt, that type time, right? Before he signed. And Kodak was like, look, bro, I got 10 grand. I'm not signing to Boosie for $10,000. Boosie was trying to lowball him. He's trying to be a businessman. He a hustler. He's trying to be a businessman. But that would have been terrible for Kodak to sign his rights over to Boosie's, no disrespect to Boosie's team, for $10,000. I'm sorry. All right. Kodak is probably getting $20,000 for a feature right now. Maybe more than that. No. Now, the story about Kodak almost signing to Birdman I thought this shit was quite the interesting one. We're going to talk about it a little more here. So Kodak said Birdman tried to sign him one day. All right, this is before he signed with Atlantic as well. And he said he wasn't feeling that deal. He was like, pretty much Birdman reached out. The money was good. He said he was offering him at least $1 million or $2 million. And he said, it's like somebody telling me, the reason why he didn't sign, he was like, it's like somebody telling me, oh, she got AIDS. Even I don't know. I ain't seen her papers. I'm going to take that into consideration. All right, let me read that again. The reason why Kodak said he didn't sign the Birdman, it wasn't about the money like it was with Boosie. Birdman didn't lowball him with the money. Reportedly, Birdman had $1 million or $2 million on the table, right? But he was like, it's like somebody telling me a chick that he trying to smash got AIDS, right? Like, even though I don't know if she got it or not, I ain't seen the papers. So just because I heard somebody say that, I'm going to proceed with caution before I do something with that person, and I likely decline it, is what Kodak was saying. So I thought that was really interesting because Kodak's like one of the young popping street artists. Like, these type artists don't come around that like would be a premier signing for Birdman, right? Like the NBA young boys, these are the type of talents that Birdman would be into. The Kodak Blacks, these are the artists, the Quando Rondos, these are the talents that Birdman would be into. And the fact that a talent like Kodak is admitting the reason why he ain't signed is because it's like saying, you know, I hate this, a very harsh comparison. It's like somebody finding out a chick got AIDS, and he's saying pretty much because it's been in the atmosphere of how Birdman treated Lil Wayne. And at the time, remember, this is before Birdman and Lil Wayne hashed out their differences. Cash Money hadn't put out the Carter 5 at the time. Remember, Kodak was like, yo, this is just me saying, I gotta be smart here. If Lil Wayne's in a fucked up situation right now, and I'm sure Kodak, like most of us, looked up to Lil Wayne in his music, because that's his age group, right? He's like, yo, why would I be the fool to go sign with Birdman after what I'm seeing right now happen with Wayne? He's like pretty much saying it's like smashing a chick that somebody told me she got AIDS. That's crazy to me. That's probably why you got guys like Birdman going up to the Breakfast Club. Remember when he went up to the Breakfast Club and said, put some respect on his name? He was like Charlemagne. He felt like Charlemagne in the club was like one of the groups of people that was kind of ruining Birdman's image. And I would imagine this is where that frustration stemmed from. If you got artists telling you, man, I can't sign with you because they're comparing you to AIDS. They're like saying your name has been scarred. I'm sure Birdman's, look at the money. Even if Birdman would have signed him for $2 million, you know how much money Birdman would have made off Kodak Black at this point? Like, think about it. I'm sure if Kodak is with Birdman, he probably doesn't get into some of the trouble that he's been tied to over the last year or two. Birdman probably in his ear more, kind of taking him under as like a, you know, Wayne stayed out of a lot of trouble, right? Wayne got in his share of trouble, but for the most part, Wayne, he stayed scotch-free a lot of his tenure with being on Cash Money. I'm sure Birdman would have probably been able to get in Kodak's ear and keep him out of some trouble, and shoot, Kodak probably be a bigger artist than what he is right now. The fact that you got a young artist able to decipher that, yo, signing over there is probably not a good career move because of what we've heard, that's not good, bro. That definitely, I'm sure Birdman hated that when he heard that. That'll make me go into an interview and tell some niggas to put some respect on my name too. That's crazy. What y'all think about that? I just wanted to have a little convo about that. That's big rap news to me. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted. Young rappers out there in the world, y'all talk to me in the comment box below. Let's say you getting some money. All right, we'll say around the time you can get like let's say you can get 10 bands a show. You're already making 10 bands a show, right? You getting booked, I say 4 times a month. So you're bringing in about 40, 50,000 in rap money a month. Your buzz is popping off. You're becoming a bigger artist, right? And Birdman offers you $2 million. Like, all due respect, you getting your 10 a show. You're doing a couple weekends a month, but this is $2 million. Straight up and down, $2 million. Once the Uncle Tom, whatever, Uncle Sam get his, you coming home with about 1.2, 1.3 soon. Like, you getting that in the first couple months. Would you still sign that deal with Birdman? Because that's $2 million is a lot of money. I come from nothing. $2 million. But you know how Birdman's reputation has been. You know, you probably wouldn't own your rights to your music and all that. Sure, Cash Money would own that. Y'all talk to me in the comment box below. Would you sign that deal? Good conversation happening on my platform. If you're new to my platform, we do conversations like this all the time. Please join us. 200,000 is on the way. First time even speaking on that, but I'm super happy. 200K on the way any day now. What y'all think? Y'all talk to me in the comment box below. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
All the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO.
Mr. Taliaferro.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.